With the correction, move to approve.
All right. Second. Thank you, Roberto. So it's been moved and seconded that the August minutes be passed, whatever. I'm really not good at the language for this stuff. So I've always all my life resisted it. Okay, so now, Greg, conversation with Lake Oswego.
Okay, so I had met with Kara Soller about Lake Oswego's intent to try to bring up a proposal to try to reduce the use of natural gas in Lake Oswego. And I think Kara felt that actually proceeding with the proposal to not put in natural gas pipes in the new foothills development, which is being considered in Lake Oswego, made most sense. There was no particular agreement about a proposal that would be put forward to the Lake Oswego City Council that we would necessarily be able to link into, in part because there's not as much development going on here. Although I suppose that if there is extensive multifamily housing going in the area above the waterfront, that would be a place where we could consider like whether or not we wanted to restrict the amount of natural gas piping that would go in there. So that could be something that we could look at in the future. I did go up online and just checked out what Portland is doing, because Kara had mentioned that Portland is involved in trying to create building performance standards that go along with the state building performance standards that have already been agreed on. And the building performance standards would be directed towards commercial buildings and multifamily housing. And it would involve, I guess, commercial buildings 2,000 square feet and larger. It had reporting requirements on an annual basis that would go to the Energy Star portfolio manager. Alignment with the state program would be tracked, and so that there really was a hope that doing that could potentially kind of reduce the amount of natural gas that would be being used in Portland. Portland also has a number of other kinds of initiatives going on, primarily tied into education, trying to kind of educate the public using their clean energy fund and the money from that to encourage people to move in the direction of electrification, much in the same way that Lake Oswego is doing. And just in terms of kind of informing us about like what other communities are doing, Milwaukee has been looking at transitioning city buildings away from natural gas. Corvallis is tracking greenhouse gas emissions from city-owned buildings. Eugene is basically trying to promote electrification through policy and incentives, including incentives for weatherization and energy efficiency, and incentives that can be gotten through different utilities as well as Oregon Energy Trust. So, what's happening is not particularly dramatic in any of those communities. Eugene and Milwaukee had both tried to restrict people from kind of tying into the natural gas system in 2023, but all of that was shot down in the courts. And so people are looking at other ways to get around that right now. But it's mostly kind of an educational effort, and then trying to provide funding like through the Oregon Energy Trust, as well as utility incentives to people so that they will be able to both weatherize and then convert to heat pumps.
Craig, I gotta say, I'm delighted that you were able to, that you did make these calls and put this together and list all these different cities doing stuff. And it may not seem like something really dramatic, but it's steady progress forward.
Yeah.
So,
And Rob can report on like what he learned about what's happening in Berkeley which may be more relevant to us.
Yeah, yeah. You want me to share that with you now?
Sure.
Yeah. So, and actually, I should preface this by saying I'm actually meeting with Kara tomorrow at noon to get her views on this, and so I'll be able to add that to the account. But in Berkeley, it's actually a building. It's the Building Emission Savings Ordinance, and basically what it does is it governs everything from um, homes, 850 to 15,000 square feet, um, up to 25,000 square foot or more buildings. And what all they're asking is that when a building goes up for sale, there be an assessment of the emissions the building is responsible for, that then becomes part of essentially the advertisement for the sale of the building. So they require an energy assessment, and then they can give an account of potential energy efficiency upgrades, electrification upgrades. They can also apply to defer that task to a buyer. Clearly, though, the incentive is for a seller to do this so that they've got an account and can, in some cases, sort of increase their possibility of sale because they have such highly efficient buildings. Um, there are fees associated with this. They're really low, actually. I was a little surprised. So, for instance, a home, $79 filing fee, and then you would pay in Berkeley. What they're doing is they're having to hire the folks to do the emissions assessment. Um, that's one of the things I want to talk to Kara about tomorrow, because I think here in Oregon we have Energy Trust, which does this routinely for buildings and homeowners. So one of the things I think that might be useful for us to explore, if we're interested in doing this, is whether Energy Trust would welcome this kind of program from a municipality, where essentially whenever somebody gets ready to sell, they either engage in this themselves, or the buyer engages in it. Again, with the incentive being for the seller to actually get the rating. So it's not a terribly complex process that Berkeley has instituted. It's in many ways it seems like a pretty easy lift. The only disincentive that I saw was the fees attached to it, and the fact that you would actually have to pay an assessor to come out and do this. If we can sidestep that problem with energy trusts work, then all the better. So that's what I'm going to explore with Kara tomorrow, and sort of get a fuller sense of what this would look like, in terms of trying to get a city ordinance. This doesn't connect, by the way, with the state building standards. So it would be sort of a separate kind of endeavor, where you're actually, again, encouraging sellers to sort of step up and it's like providing a rating for your house, your building, as you're selling it.
And Rob, has this been basically enacted, or is it a proposal?
So no, it's enacted, and it will. Let's see, 2000. Let me find this. 2027 is when it goes into full force for them. So they passed it. They have it as a part of their city
Uh-huh.
ordinances. Actually, I take that back. So the effective date was July 1st of this year.
Okay.
Um, but if I recall correctly, by 2027, they need sort of full compliance. They're giving people time to catch up with it and get accustomed to the system. And it's not, because you can essentially defer it. You can apply for a waiver, and it looks to me like this is one of the things I want to ask Kara about. because I think she's acquainted with this. It looks to me like, the waiver is you apply for a waiver, you get it. You might pay a fee for the waiver, but it's a small fee. I think it was like, I can go back and look, like, again, $79, $89, something like that. But if it's enhancing your ability to market your house, I'm not sure how many people would bother with a waiver.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
I was wondering if
I-
you would like to send an email to this group after you meet with Kara while it's still fresh in your head, or if
Yeah.
you want to wait until our next meeting to present.
No, I'll send an email to the group after I meet with Kara because
Okay.
yeah, not only fresh in my head, but yeah, it's the timing. Yep, happy
Yeah.
to do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And Rob, you get a sense about like whether the $79 was sufficient to actually pay for the assessment?
That's not clear to me, and that was one of the things I need to ask Karen. As I poked around on
Uh-huh.
their website and I sent an email, but I haven't gotten an answer. Um,
Yeah.
my guess is that that's it. But the problem is you're going to have somebody in the city who's doing the assessment who can make the
Uh-huh.
assessment. So it's
Yeah.
staffing. And again, if we can get those things done more or less for free, Energy Trust loves to do this. I mean, they love to come out and, and assess your
Uh-huh.
home and tell you how you can upgrade your energy efficiency and your emissions efficiency. So,
Right.
uh, but I don't know their situation these days, how
Uh-huh.
they
Yeah.
are doing. Um, when we built our passive house, they were just enormously helpful and
Mhm.
just eager as all get out to be a part of the process. So
That's great.
yeah,
Okay. Well, look forward to what you learn tomorrow.
yep,
Um,
sure.
Looks like we are ready to look at our main purpose for this meeting, which is to present. So three of us talked day before yesterday, and so Roberto, you're the only one who wasn't there that day. So we would like to share with you what we came up with. If everybody could get out the one-page document that I sent. It's called
Biometrics.
is that it? I sent you both. No,
Mhm.
one was the whole thing from Parametrics. That's called got a long title, way too long. So
Soft
SAB,
recommend.
it's SAB recommends.
Recommendation.
Yeah, and yeah. So
I can
this.
I can share if
Uh,
you
oh, that's fine. I mean, I've got mine out,
okay.
but go ahead and share.
Okay.
By the way, Victoria, thank you for doing this.
Oh, well, sure. It makes
Yeah.
conversation a lot easier if we all have a simple piece of paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see it?
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Is it
Okay.
better?
Yeah, it's better, but it could, yeah, there, that's better. Okay. So these are the things that we thought, well, we're presenting on October 6th, which is fairly soon. And we want to has everybody here had a chance to read through this? I don't hear you. Resounding yes.
Yes, I read.
Okay. Um, so the first four items, there were 5 total and we kept 4 and wanted to change the wording to number 2. I don't know if we can even do that after it's been given to us by Parametrics, but instead of considering sustainable building features, to say we commit to them, which is completely different. And so I don't know if that's even possible to do, to make this change.
This is the advisory committee's recommendations, not
Right,
the
right,
consultant. We can reference the consultant, but it's your recommendations.
right.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
our recommendation
Thanks.
that we change that word to commit. And about the LED lighting upgrades, which they're coming along, they will come as they do. But we were wondering if that could be, if the progress could be reported to us and the city manager when a facility changes their lighting to LED. Because we want to offer encouragement. And we don't know how to offer that encouragement if we don't really know who's got their finger in the pie and what's happening. So that's what that's about. So I don't know, we can make inquiries rather than expecting someone to report, but how does that come about? How do we know? What's the best way to do that? Dylan?
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about it. Because I think a lot of it is just like, I mean, in City Hall, like when some of the overhead lighting goes out, he just replaces them bulb by bulb. I'm not sure how much he's tracking that, our facilities guy. And we do only have one facilities person.
Fun.
So it's certainly something I can ask if he's tracking that at all and see what he says.
Is
Well,
that-
I think the other thing, Dylan, is just kind of knowing where it's happened. Um, and like, if it's possible to give us a kind of an estimate on the number of LED bulbs that are kind of like in the community center and the library at the city hall, et cetera, just so that we know and have a general idea about like where the city actually is at with regard to this particular effort.
Would a ballpark be okay with the rest of the board?
I would say, well, for me, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I think it all makes complete sense, and I can certainly ask what kind of information he has. Maybe he has more than I. Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll
I
surprise
don't
me.
wanna push too hard and create a really, stressful situation for him. But,
Yeah.
otherwise it's just hot air passing around the room without us really knowing what we're talking about. So
And-
that would be nice.
Rather than counting light bulbs individually, I presume there's some bulk orders for light
Yeah.
bulbs.
Yeah.
Maybe they can be tracked at that level.
Nice thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so could we check in with this maintenance person once a year and say, how you doing?
Yeah,
That's our question, Dylan, to him.
sure.
Would that drive him crazy or would that be welcome?
We'll see what he says. I can certainly ask.
Okay, so we could do, I don't know what time of year is the worst for him, who knows? But we could try to avoid that. If that's possible, he could tell us what would be the best time to check in once a year. I don't know. That's my thinking on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what to say about seeking additional funding so we agree that that should be done. Community-wide strategies are it's coming along with the EV charging stations, and that's another one that's, how do we find out exactly who's doing what when? I don't know. How would we find out?
Well, I mean, we've tried. The mayor and I reached out and had the mayor met with some of the big developers, and there was not a lot of interest without the city helping them. So again, it becomes, a capacity thing, and us searching for grants that maybe we can help them apply for. And it wasn't really something they were willing to run with on their own.
Right. We need a Target. Target is really good about putting out EV stations all along the highways. Oh,
There's no
Alpha.
Target in West Linn, though, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying. We need one. We need a Target. We just light industry like that. Good for the tax base too. All right. So
I guess-
Dylan,
Go ahead.
actually, Dylan. So who does this? I mean, so has it really boil down to you and the mayor?
That is where it is right now. I mean,
Uh,
SAB could maybe write. I was just sitting thinking, like, would the SAB writing a letter to, one of the big developers in town? We did find one of the developers in some of their like corporate website they talked up their sustainability and wanting EV stuff, and we kind of brought that up. But I mean, maybe coming from the SAB could push them a little more. It's hard to know.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, that's the reason I ask. I wonder if would it help to have SAB
Put some
send a
pressure.
letter, make contacts. I mean, what are the because if it's just falling on your shoulders and the mayor's shoulders, yeah, I mean, I understand. You guys have lots to do. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of one of the things. The more pressure you put on people, the more they hear from people, more chance.
can you give us the name of that developer?
Yeah, yeah, I could do that offline.
Yeah, yeah, okay, then we could decide to write a letter or not. But we need to see what you saw that said that that developer was interested in sustainability.
Yeah, and that could be used in a letter. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so would you be able to forward that to us?
Yes, I'd have to
Great.
find it, but yeah.
That's a start.
Yeah.
We can do a little bit
And,
there.
and Dylan, do you know like whether or not anybody has pursued like Shell oil for the possibility of installing EV chargers like they did over at Walgreens just off of
right.
McLaughlin Boulevard? Has anybody in the city kind of explored that as a possibility? Because I'm
Explore.
thinking that a charging station could be put in the parking lot over at Market of Choice, for example. It'd be close to the freeway, which is probably the reason there's one at the Walgreens on McLaughlin.
You're saying pursue it with the market of choice developer? Is that what you're asking?
Or has the city explored that possibility of approaching like Shell to see like whether or not they would be interested in installing some EV chargers in West Linn?
Not Shell directly. I haven't personally, no.
And but you don't think anybody else has.
I
But
don't
that's
think so.
another possible
Mhm.
route to pursue as well, to see like whether or not the folks at Market of Choice would be willing to have an EV charger in their parking lot
So
that
it's just
will be
like the
owned by
case that
Shell.
yeah, just like the case with Walmart. They have Electrify America
Right.
everywhere,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're laying out the the plan for the future. So basically, there are going to be the EV charging stations for America
Uh-huh.
across. And believe me, we use it when we travel. We just go and park there, do our groceries, spend an hour park there. And there's a lot of people doing. There's so many programs. So I think market of choice probably can have an opportunity there with a third party.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my assumption is that providers like Electrify America or ChargePoint, the different ones, but Electrify America is the one you see most frequently. Um, I would guess that they have some
For
sort
a
of
Nair, yeah.
financial arrangement with the place where they place their chargers. So it could even be to the benefit of one of these local businesses. I'm always surprised
Yeah.
we don't have a commercial
Yeah.
provider in Westland yet. The closest one is in Lake Oswego, and it's hard to tell who owns that property that it's on, but it's by the
Well,
Safeway.
there's one at REI
Yeah,
in Bridgeport.
Bridgeport too, yeah.
That's just
Not necessarily free charging, right? Like
right. No,
like
these are
yeah.
charged. Yeah, you pay. But even to have commercial providers into the market in Westland would be useful.
Yeah.
So I suppose our recommendation would be that the city explore multiple opportunities for actually kind of placing more EV chargers around the city, including kind of approaching Electrify America or Shell or like one of these companies. Because certainly we've got a Walmart up on Highway 43. So that might be a place that Electrify America, if they have this working arrangement with Walmart, to put it in.
What would you even start with that? By contacting Electrify America, by contacting Walmart? Probably Electrify America.
I think Electrify America probably.
Yeah, let me share a link that my wife found about Electrify America in Walmart, how they're so just as an inspiration. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay,
Send it through email too.
thanks. Suppose it would help city council and you, Dylan, and Rory B, if we made that contact if we're to find out about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it would certainly be really nice to get the help. Yeah.
Right. And it makes sense logically that we would be people who would do that.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that gives us something clear to work on. That leaves us to the second item under recommended community-wide strategies. And this is another one of these questions. Who can we check in with regularly to see if this is being done? That's the same question we had for the above section.
I mean, I will say there's just a lot of this happening around. It's just kind of distributed. Like the Lions do a regular like pickup of recycling behind City Hall. I guess that's not really well, it's a little bit of this, but then the library has the sharing. I can't remember what it's called of things. Library of Things.
Library
Robinwood
things, yeah.
Station does the repair fairs on a regular basis. Those are kind of the regular things I'm aware of. There's the free and I'm sure there's like a free and trade Facebook group. A lot of things like that happening. Just kind of people pick them up on their own.
Do you feel like then enough is being done?
Oh, did I lose? I think I lost something. Oh, there we go. I would be more right. It's all people's capacity.
I guess with regard to that, Dylan, could you imagine the city playing a role in the planning and kind of just doing repair fairs and kind of following the model at Robinwood Station, or would you see it pretty much as a kind of a volunteer thing that would happen?
I mean, it's nice that it's a volunteer thing. We don't, it's all those volunteers have all those expertise in those different areas of fixing
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Kind of naturally works like that.
But
We
in
do
terms of
support them by
organizing it,
Sorry, I missed that.
oh, just somebody's got to be able to pull together the volunteers who actually kind of deliver their services at a repair fair, but it really requires somebody to organize it. And so I'm just wondering, like, whether there's anyone at the city who could possibly take that on.
I mean, other than me, I'm not sure. And
Okay.
I mean, the community seems to be doing it pretty regularly. I think it's and the person that organizes it also works in Clackamas County Sustainability,
Uh-huh.
and they get people involved, and we do help them with marketing for it.
Okay, that sounds like a not yet,
Mhm.
or maybe no thank you. Um, the last thing that we looked at on Tuesday was potential funding and financing opportunities, which always gives me the nerves. But looking at efficiency, savings, reinvestment, it doesn't I think I'll just read it. To allocate a portion of cost savings from energy efficiency projects such as LED upgrades or HVAC retrofits into a dedicated sustainability fund. That would be through city manager, wouldn't it? Because it's dealing with funds.
I mean, it would be a finance, just a changing our finance system. And if you'd have to decide whether we're saving enough from that to justify the cost of all the finance, bookkeeping that it would take probably,
Yeah, yeah. At
which
this
I'm
point,
not sure we're doing enough projects to do that.
so maybe not yet on that.
Maybe, although there, I mean, yeah, the energy savings over time, it's a lot of like data work.
It does sound like
Yeah.
a lot of paperwork to figure it out. Good point. I'm kind of interested in the green bonds. Can we issue green bonds? Can the city do that?
I'm guessing we can. I mean, I think the consultant said something people do. Again, they'd be competing with other bonds that may be coming in the future. There's a lot of big discussion because of the city's budget is in need. I think there's a budget needs and opportunities big council community discussion happening early October. And part of that, one of those options will be bonds. So any other bonds would be competing.
So that would mean members of our committee going to their meeting to see what they're doing.
Sure, yeah. I mean, everyone's welcome at it. Yeah,
Or make a case for green bonds.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it yet. I'd have to click that green bonds information there and look it up. So when is that meeting? You said early October. How do we find out when that is?
I can look it up. It'll just take me a minute.
Okay. It's just we could at least be better informed about it. And so that we could do something in the next 2-year cycle if we don't get into this one. I mean, I don't, anybody else know more about green bonds than I do, which is pretty much zero.
Lou, do you think that the council would be interested in exploring this possibility at all?
Well, I know I'm kind of ignorant of it. I don't know about the state of knowledge of the other members of the council. But
Fair.
what I'm suggesting is that this committee do some research and make a case for it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I like that. We've had been stymied here on a couple of items, but that one we can at least become better informed about them and talk to city council about that.
Yeah, and that big discussion there I was talking about is October 8th, and it starts in the morning at 8:30, and I think it's a big half day or more thing. City
8:30.
budget needs and opportunities.
Really, city budget, huh? And it goes all morning or all day?
I think there's a good chance it'll take half the day. I think is the
Yeah.
goal.
Pretty sure it's morning.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Well, that's a thought. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, because there's a lot of needs the city has. The budget's not looking so great in the coming years.
It
And
has
they're
never
trying to-
looked great. It's looking worse.
Yeah, pretty much the story. Yeah, and trying to find ways to bring new money in and fill where things are most critical.
Yeah, it's such an irony that a wealthy population would have so little money for the city, but there it is. I think you have to have higher taxes, that's what.
Yeah.
So the last item there that we were looking to get some thought on is the utility incentives and partnerships. So well, we've talked about partnering with PGE, but not necessarily to reinvest rebates or incentives. This is Parametric's idea, and I don't even know how to explore this to say, what does this really mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I might have to go back to the original document, but I mean, Energy Trust is something we do. Like Historic City Hall, we worked with Energy Trust, and they gave us rebates because of
awesome.
some of our energy efficiency stuff. And I don't know, we got a check for it's over 3,000 a couple months ago.
Good, that's nice to
That's-
hear.
Yeah, one. I'm not sure what else that falls into this one.
Well, that sounds like that would work, and if the, okay.
I
Okay,
guess I'd be interested in whether the electric company gives rebates at all for just moving towards heat pumps. Have you run into any incentives with regard to that?
Heat pumps for like homeowners.
No, heat pumps for city buildings.
I have not run into that. No.
But it can be also, it's only for city buildings, Greg, or it can be also for the community.
It would be great for the community as well, but I have a feeling that the parametrics, well, actually, the parametrics recommendations might be, for both the city and as well as the community. My impression was that this particular item with regard to funding was really looking for how the city could find dollars to
Mhm.
support sustainability projects that it was kind of planning to try to implement. But I think really looking more completely at the role of utility incentives in terms of homeowners as well would probably be useful. And that's something that we could again, potentially share information with the community about.
Yeah, I think that something probably that Rob is looking into the houses transformation, and we can add there are some for PGE, there are solar incentives to PG is doing for EV chargers in your house as well. And you can tell how much money you're saving in gasoline and polluting less. So I think that information might be useful. People sometimes is not aware.
Mm.
Even when they're trying to buy a car or
Uh-huh.
upgrade their house.
Yeah, there was a bill in the last session, oddly enough, didn't succeed like so many other things. But it was, to create the one-stop shop for the
Mhm. Right.
Oregon EPA, where it would be a clearinghouse for all of this information in terms of rebates and tax credits that you can get. It's not that hard to do. This actually, we could maybe turn this into one of our goals, in our next topic here, to crowdsource that information and keep it up to date so it's on the city website. Again,
Mhm.
helping builders, homeowners, and businesses know um, the kinds of price breaks they can get for upgrading.
Yeah.
that sounds very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Cool idea.
Mhm.
In terms of the recommendations to the city, oops, I left our document. Sorry, I went to the parametrics. And by the way, I went to the parametrics document to see if they said anything substantive about utility rebates. They don't help a lot. But I'm wondering if, um, given the limited uh, person hours from the city available for this sort of stuff, if we should choose one of the three and push that instead of trying to, you know,
Uh-huh.
I mean, the efficiency savings, as everybody pointed out, would be costly in terms of tracking it. And the question would be whether that would ever pay off.
Pencil out to being worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But green bonds,
Let's find out more.
yeah, let's find out more. That's right.
Okay.
Well, it's investing happening.
Greg, you're cutting out.
Yeah.
We lost you. Shoot. Well,
You're
until he,
frozen.
Greg, are you back? No.
Frozen,
Greg-
frozen.
Until Greg comes back, I wondered who is interested in attending the joint meeting with the council. That's at 11 o'clock on Monday. Greg cannot be there. He will be in France or something lovely.
So what time, sorry?
11 o'clock on Monday, the 6th, city council, so that we can present to them what we've talked about tonight.
Yeah, I'm okay joining.
Uh,
It's in person, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
And
join.
and
Oh, great, good, good.
Dylan, do you know when on the agenda will turn up?
oh, right.
I don't. They haven't done the agenda yet. They won't do it until like a week
Okay.
before the meeting, and then things get kind of shuffled around.
Is there any
Alright.
way that you can request that we not be there until noon? Because if it's not till noon, then Rob can come
So asking to go earlier, is that what you're asking?
later, let's say at noon instead of 11.
Oh, okay. Sure. I can see where, well, as it gets closer, I can see where, yeah, and make that
Yeah, that's
request.
fine.
Okay, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
for Barrett, if Roberto's going to be there, we know, it's at least the two of you. So I will certainly make it if I can.
So you can make it at noon. Is that what
I can make it. Yeah, I teach until 11:30, but I can make it to here by noon easily.
okay. And also jumping in virtually is an option too. So
Okay.
if that works for you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more fun in person.
Yeah, I prefer to be there and I can make it. That's just
Okay.
Lewis and Clark to here. Drive that day, don't ride.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'll be there, and Roberto, thank you, and it looks like if it can be at noon, then there'll be 3 of us. That's good, that's
Great.
enough.
And I'm looking at the calendar right now, the things that are on that meeting, and it's October 7th.
What? That's a Tuesday.
Yes, it is a two. Oh, yes, because that's why. Oh, it just happened. The council just changed their meetings from Mondays to Tuesdays.
Oh,
So
I can be there.
I guess how does that work for people's schedules?
okay.
It's Tuesday at 1 o'clock is what they have it listed as now. I
1
forgot.
o'clock.
Yep, they just shook everything up at their last meeting.
Okay, 1
Yeah.
o'clock city council,
Great.
all right.
No
and-
worries about timing for me then. So
All right, and Greg, don't even think about it, enjoy France.
Good. I think I'll be going through a cave at that point.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next day on Wednesday is the city budget. So we'll see how well prepared we are for that. We'll present our ideas for that. All right. So I think we've got that pretty well together.
Cool.
I have a question, Dylan, for you. Were you able to set up a meeting with Kahoot garbage folks about a separate food waste pickup?
I have not done yet. I was waiting. Our attorney got a new assistant, and she asked that I wait until that new assistant got on board, which just happened. So I can start moving that again.
Okay, that's fine. I know I should be excited about it, but honestly,
Because yeah, there were several legal pieces to their franchise agreement that they wanted to go over as we were, and curbside recycling was just one of them.
yeah, okay.
Mm.
Legal pieces, yeah.
So people from Portland say, what's the matter? Don't you have that? We've had this for years. And my son in Boulder, I take the compost out to the bin and, oh, it's just crawling with maggots. It's so disgusting.
But Greg, will you add that to the action item? You're catching all the action items, right?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
and I'll do the same thing I did before, just bold them.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
And then I'll list them separately so that somebody as well. After that, that'll work fine. Okay, so the last thing I have on my list of things to talk about is I was just going to read through it. It just says we need to know who among us will talk with the public works staff to assess the actual maintenance costs and get back to us about whether the fee associated with the service will be enough to actually cover city expenses. But that doesn't make any sense to me the way these notes are written. Maintenance costs of what is missing from these notes?
That was regarding the EV charging and what to set the rate at. And I did
that's right,
relay
yeah.
that. Yeah, and I did relay that to Public Works after we talked at the last meeting that you guys wanted just like for Public Works to start collecting the data on maintenance costs, you know, over the next
Yeah.
year or whatever. So then we can check on, make sure the fee is still appropriate.
Okay, thank you, Dylan.
Yeah.
I wrote this a month ago and then I left that part out. So,
Because we're charging, I think at the point now 125% of the cost
Mhm.
of the power
right.
was where we
Mhm.
left it. Yep. And we'll see if that seems reasonable in about a year from now.
okay, great. So we don't really need to look at this again.
Yeah.
All right, that didn't take 10 minutes. All right, well, this is a fairly short meeting. We really only had one thing to discuss and it looks like we have done so.
Victoria, we should have a report from Roberto about where things stand with regard to the survey. I know you mentioned it earlier, Roberto, not having had a chance. Has any other progress been made with regard to that particular effort?
No, I mentioned that I haven't been able to connect. So started connecting with the our academics
Uh-huh.
contacts that you help with, but I haven't been following with them and trying to address a conversation. Yeah. So I think something we can do this month.
Roberto,
Yep.
feel free to email me or call me and we can share
Okay.
each other up and get started on it. I'd be
Sure.
happy to do that with you.
Thank
Mostly
you.
because it's the high school and I taught public high school for 20 years and my heart is with them.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm
Good.
happy to do that with you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
The one other thing that we should be thinking about altogether is just like whether we know of other people who you think would be interested in serving on the SAB, because we need to replace Dan's position, and we may have folks, stepping down from the SAB in December. So, being able to find some folks who would be willing to come on board seems like it will be important. So, if you know of any people that you think would be likely candidates, please approach them.
That's how we got Dan for a while.
Yeah. And I guess, Lou, same thing for the city council. If the city council, if you know of any people that you think would be, good candidates for the SAB, pursuing them as well. I know that Todd Jones was the person who got me on. So kind of being able to, as a city council person, ask somebody that you think would be a good candidate, I think would really be helpful.
Yeah, I'll work my personal network and I'll talk to the other counselors about
Okay.
theirs.
Good.
Yeah, one of the former mayors encouraged me. So, yeah. That's nice. Thanks for thinking of that. Is there any other new business that y'all can think of? Okay. Our next, I have one bit, and that is that our next meeting could be the one that we have in person.
Hmm.
Because we didn't really have a meeting in July. We sort of saw each other, some of us in person in July. So August, September, October, we haven't had an in-person meeting since spring, really. And so
No.
if you are up for a meeting in October in person, that would be the 16th. Dylan, I know how much this doesn't work for you, but really it's only 3 times this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the date, probably fine.
Yeah, actually the last time we met in person was April.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We oftentimes meet in person when we do the goal planning for 2026.
Yes.
We do that one in November.
You want to
Um,
hold off till then? I be all right.
so that might be, worth considering anyway. And I guess that's another thing that we need to be thinking about is kind of in addition to the kinds of things that we've been talking about tonight, are there any other issues that we'd really like to explore in the coming year?
Well, if we start thinking about it now, we know by October to set it up for November.
Yeah.
So what did
Yep.
are you all agreed that you want to meet in November in person then in order to do that planning? For
Sure.
2026? Is that okay, Dylan?
Should be, again, looking at calendars.
It's the week before Thanksgiving.
There is a slight chance I'll be gone, but we can figure something out with somebody else, I'm sure, if not, if I do end up gone. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that's not too stressful.
Yeah, we have a new admin staff, so it shouldn't be as hard as it's been in the past if I need help.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think I will call an adjournment at 7:05. Been some fruitful discussion, folks. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
Thanks very much.
And I will get the minutes out to you by Monday at latest. And the action items will be bolded on that so you can see